Welcome back. Taking tax reform on the road today, President Trump heads to North Dakota later this morning to pitch his plan for cutting tax rates and simplifying the tax code. He'll have a Democrat at his side today. Senator Heidi Heitkamp is expected to fly with him on Air Force One for the event in her home state. His speech comes a day after meeting with the top Republican policymakers working on tax reform known as the Big Six.
If we're going to keep this momentum going and allow the economy to truly take off as it should, it is vital that we reduce the crushing tax burden on our companies and on our workers. We want to make it as simple as possible. Second, we must provide tax relief for middle-class workers and families. Third, we must restore a competitive edge, which we've lost. We're doing fine, but we lost the competitive edge.
Joining me right now is Albright Stonebridge Group co-chairman and former Commerce Secretary under President George W. Bush, Carlos Gutierrez. Good to see you, Carlos. Thanks very much for joining us.
Hi, Miriam. Thank you.
Do you think we will see tax reform this fall? We're all talking about the very short window of opportunity Congress has now to get something done. What are your expectations?
Look, I would give it, at best, 50-50. I know that Secretary Mnuchin has said that we're going to have it this fall. I think if we have it by the end of the year, we've done a great job. The complexity of this stuff is hard to imagine, and to get this done before September 29 or 30, which is when we need the whole package together, I think it's going to be very tough. Plus, we've got the Affordable Care Act. We've got DACA now that we have to fix. We have the Harvey funding. We'll have IRMA funding by then. It's going to be very rough. It's a tough September. Yeah,
it's a tough September, but part of the issue is the fact that he doesn't have any help on the left, right? I mean, the Democrats will not participate in any governing. They don't want to see his economic agenda executed. They want to obstruct it. So, I mean, do you see any bipartisan support? He does have Heidi Heitkamp with him today.
Well, yeah, and you know, one of the things that a lot of people are talking about is Senator Menendez's trial. Because if he's not around to vote Democrat, that's going to be a major boost for Republicans. But you're right. I mean, this is so easy to demagogue. It's becoming, you know, tax cuts for the rich. It isn't tax cuts for the rich. It's tax cuts for corporations who in turn will invest more and in turn will employ more people. It's tax cuts for middle class. So I think all these things are good, but it's too easy to demagogue. The environment in the Congress is so toxic. Totally. There's no sense of team play or anything like that. It's going to be very tough. And, you know, we've got until September 29th to get the debt ceiling increased.
Let's see this. If we were to get just tax cuts, do you think that's enough to actually move the needle on economic growth? Because you feel like 3% growth is out there. We just saw a very good number last week. Do you think that if we were to see just tax cuts, we don't see all-out reform, that in fact that moves the needle on economic growth?
Yeah, I think that would do it. I mean, today, you know, Maria, we're about a 2+% economy. Right. And we've been stuck there for a while. We need a catalyst. We need something. So two things that are happening. Regulatory reform will help. And that's helping the oil and gas industry today, and that will continue to help.
Yeah, I think it's already helped, yeah.
Yeah, and tax cuts. Yes, they will help. There's no question about it. The problem is on the negative side of the ledger, we have trade. So, you know, we're going to have to balance these things out. If we really want to hit 3.5% growth, we've got a lot of work to do.
Let me ask you about immigration and DACA. Big technology corporates are taking a stand against the president this morning for ending the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, DACA. The CEOs of Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, and Facebook all releasing statements speaking out against the decision to rescind protection for hundreds of thousands of undocumented immigrants who came to the United States as children. Microsoft President and Chief Legal Officer Brad Smith went one step further. He releases a statement saying, quote, "For the 39 dreamers that we know of who are our employees, our commitment is clear. If Congress fails to act, our company will exercise its legal rights properly to help protect our employees. If the government seeks to deport any one of them, we will provide and pay for their legal counsel. In short, if dreamers who are our employees are in court, we will be by their side." So you've also got some states saying they're going to sue the federal government, like New York, Governor Cuomo. Your thoughts?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, these dreamers are 91% of all dreamers are either, or DACA recipients are either working or studying or both. So Microsoft, there are DACA employees in Microsoft. There are DACA employees in Google. You know, these are top-notch students who have stayed away from any problems. They have a clean record, not even, major misdemeanors. So I agree with Microsoft and Google. I think this would be one of the most, dramatic immigration decisions we've made in our history. I just hope the president did the second next best thing, which is to let the Congress decide, and I think that's good. We've got 6 months. Lindsey Graham is on top of it. And I hope we get it done.
Secretary, good to see you. Thanks very much for weighing in this morning.